Hey Mayank, what's up?
What's up, Abhinav? Hey, man. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Just been iterating and working on the website, which is
Mm.
what we're going to be discussing tonight. So, hey, folks, welcome to Whiteboard.fm. Today is our 10th Whiteboard Live session. This is what Abhinav and I meet. This is where Abhinav and I meet up every week, every Thursday at 9 p.m. to discuss about what is going on with Whiteboard.fm, with 10K designers, and we talk about design, creativity, and products. So, what's up, man? How's it going?
Good, man. Just I've checked out your work, so I'm to this session where I'm excited to actually do a bunch of interactive wireframing, which is for everybody who's watching. We're going to be going a little deeper, continuing from the previous session, where we're going to actually be doing a lot of iPad wireframing to just lay out what our different ideas are. And I think this should give you a good idea on how you can start to convert some of your research, some of your very initial ideas on what you want to build. How do you actually convert that to information architecture and wireframes, which is that in between intermediate step before you jump into visuals? So we're going to be sort of fast forwarding in this video, which is we're
Yeah.
going to be doing some wireframes and then we're going to show you some screens that Mayank has designed ever since the last session. Yeah. So Mayank, you want to share your screen and just walk through what we did in the previous session?
Sure, I'll do that. So I'll show you guys the research is what we had done last time.
Mm,
Cool. Abhinav, let me know when you can see my screen.
cool. I can.
Cool, awesome. So just to give a brief walkthrough of what we did last time, last session was based on planning and brainstorming regarding our whiteboard.fm website. And for that, we were discussing two kinds of research, primary research and secondary research. So here Abhinav also explained a bit about how there are two kinds of research in terms of slow burn and fast burn. Slow burn is like something which you're doing over a longer period of time and you're consuming little by little, and fast burn is something which you're seeing it happen, that which is already out there and it's something that's happened really immediately or very recently. I think Abhinav will be able to give a better analogy and example for this, but I'll continue with the research. So here, this was our primary research, primary research, which was by comparing other podcasts that are out there. So I compared podcasts such as the Design Better podcast by Envision, Layout, Roots, Design Details, Yo, Design Matters, Inside Intercom, Design Blind Date by Dan Segal, Overtime Podcast by Dribble, and UXResearch.fm and Design Life. So I like, as you can see, these are a lot of podcasts, like easily around 6 to 8 podcasts, which I compared. And then we moved on to a different research where we would not compare podcasts, but other content related platforms. So that we could take inspiration, not just in terms of the content that they have, but also the way they branded it. Because in the end, 10K designers, Whiteboard, all of these are a brand. Whiteboard is a part of 10K, and all of it should seem like it belongs to a particular brand. So we refer to platforms such as Designership, the Pro, and Community. Dan Petty, Portfolio Book. I really like how he sells his book in a really non-transactional way. Visualize Value, Circle, which is a community platform for creators, 10K designers, and I also added Spotify recently because I liked their layout and I was thinking along the lines in some ways.
Yeah. So you want to just recap our sticky notes, which is what we decided?
Yeah. So when we came back to us, when we were after all this research, when we were trying to collate and try to combine everything, we came to our sticky notes where we came to three things. That is the goals of the project, ideas, and our processes. So as you can see, the goals of a project was to unify all the content in one place, focus on the discoverability of all our guests and the topics, browsing by multiple categories, that is topic, company, guest, type of case study, case studies, the company they belong to, and etc. So on and so forth. We wanted to. The purpose of the website is two things. One, as I mentioned earlier, to unify all the content in one place, and another thing is SEO. We want to have the slow SEO growth to kick into our channel. Since it's been around 6 months and Whiteboard.fm is going to reach like 1.9k YouTube subscribers, we want the SEO growth to kick in and help the website reach more people, or the platform to reach more people. Making it the next point, making it easier for new users to navigate and discover, and reducing dependency on external platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. The next thing was the ideas we had in mind with regards to the Whiteboard.fm online platform, which would be a landing page that communicates what Whiteboard.fm and 10K are, a separate page for each episode, clip, and guests, and then embedding all the platforms where Whiteboard.fm is available. That is, adding embeds of YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and etc. To have a newsletter such that all the people who subscribe to the newsletter would get updates on what episodes are coming up and what episodes are there and what our recommendations are to those who have just signed up. And also thinking about Twitter threads for insights, or also having transcripts and so on. The third thing we discussed was having processes in place for making this not just a one-time thing, but updating it constantly, which would be to set up a unified Notion workspace for everything that we already have and that is coming up. Setting up workflows, that is what should be, how to plan it, how to keep the pre-recordings in place, when to launch. We cannot launch suddenly the next day or think that we want to do it all of a sudden. It needs to be planned beforehand. And then channel-wise processes, because the way everything is posted online is a bit different. Like the medium sets the content, or the medium sets the motion of in which it goes out to the public, and the kind of interaction it should be getting. The way you post something on Twitter is very different from the way you would post something on Instagram. So each channel would have its processes, and we would have to set those beforehand. And then our own process of editing and adding the chapters and all the descriptions for the clips and episodes. So this was what we discussed during last week's live. So yeah, Abhinav.
Cool. So what I'm going to do is, let me now share my screen, and we'll get into some of the ideas we want to explore in this session. So, but before we start, people in the chat, can you drop a quick emoji? I want to see that you're here, that you're listening, that you're excited about this session, because this is going to be quite interactive. We're going to be asking for a lot of ideas, a lot of suggestions. So let's see that right now. Okay. So some of the things we want to do, let's say, I really should have charged the Apple Pencil. It's out of charge. Okay, we'll talk about something else in the meantime. It only takes like 2 or 3 minutes to charge. 1 sec.
Cool, man. So why don't you tell us about how we're going to go about in the wireframing process right now? What are we going to do and all?
Yeah. So I think today what we want to sort of finalize is what the overall structure of the website will be, which is roughly, I think at this point, we know what our pages are, what kind of navigation we have from the home page. But I sort of want to set some priorities in terms of what are some of our most important pages, the ones that we should prioritize, and then what some of our most common user flows would be. In this scenario, you would expect that the most common user flow would be somebody lands on this web page and they actually see the content, they start navigating, and then they watch an episode. But more likely that we're going to have the majority, like the most primary user flow is going to be people coming in from external places like YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Telegram, and coming in through to a certain episodes page. So they've come here because either a guest has just shared, I've been on this episode, or they want to come watch the episode, see the case studies, see the clips. So very likely that most people are not gonna start from the homepage. They're gonna start from one of these inner pages. So I want to sort of do that. And then based on this, I think another thing we can do is let's try to focus more on some of these primary pages, like the podcast page. Because since this is going to be one of the highest activity pages, we can probably spend some more time on this one compared to the others, figuring out what the sections would be. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that sounds good because that will give a better approach as well in terms of the navigation or the user flow. Because what I've been doing so far as well is just designing and thinking of layouts, different types of layouts in terms of iterating all of it, but haven't really come to a proper flow of how once the user lands on the site, how would we be directing them. So discussing this would give a better focus towards that as well.
True. So let's get started. Let's start drawing now. We're going to get into some of these. Mike, you think we should have background music for our podcasts, like throughout?
I mean, I'm up for it.
I don't know if it'll be distracting or not. People in the chat, can you give us some suggestions? Should we be playing background music? You know, I did it for one of my other live streams. Played copyright-free music, lo-fi, and then like 6 months later, one song gets picked up and they're like, oh, it's been flagged. And then I have to either mute that segment or I think it affects the search.
Yeah.
If your content gets flagged and you don't take an action, I think YouTube starts promoting it less in search results and recommendations. So most of this copyright-free music can get copyright in the future. Like that's the biggest challenge. It's like like one song out of a 2-hour stream, and then the whole video is okay. We'll think about it. We'll consider it for the next one. What I'm going to do for now is I'm going to start sharing my screen.
In the meantime, guys, I want you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, last week we had decided that we would be giving t-shirts away to those who gave the best testimonial to whiteboard.fm
on Twitter,
on LinkedIn. We want to see that.
And we received a grand total of one recommendation. One testimonial. I think we intimidated people too much by saying, oh, it needs to be really good, select and all of this. Yeah, we have no testimonials at this point.
So it's fine. Like it doesn't need to be amazing, but what this means is that the competition is still there. Like go for it. We are open to seeing testimonials on Twitter and LinkedIn, and make sure you tag us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see it.
So how it works is basically if you want to get we don't have a merch store for our 10K designers t-shirts, but if you want to win one, drop a testimonial on Twitter for whiteboard.fm saying this is how I liked it. If we end up including that in our new website design, we'll send you one. Okay, I'm going to get started now. So let's start with our pages, right? What are some of the pages that we have? So we've got the home page. From the home page, you can go to collect. Okay, wait, how do we say this? So we have homepage as one of our main pages. You have an episode page. And then between the homepage and the episode page, there's a bunch of smaller pages that are collection pages. So a collection page, I would say, would be something like something that includes category, type, And then what we also have is a profile page, which is for each guest. You want to have pages for this thing also, for case studies? But case studies are external. So,
Because just like how there are multiple categories for for multiple apps on UI sources, I was thinking along those lines where we would have different case studies which would fit in different categories or types of industries.
okay. But then you click it and it goes external, the case studies.
We could either make it go external, or we could, like what we were planning to do for the episodes as well, like we would embed them inside.
Okay. So what we can do is, let me call this an article page.
Hmm.
And I think this can cover 3 things. We can do episodes, clips, and case studies. And I think for the case studies, the actual case study link will be external, but the walkthrough will be right there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Got it. So roughly, these are our pages, right? Do we have more?
We have hiring process as well, but we can include that in clips.
Yeah, hiring process, I would say, is probably a category, and then
Yeah.
it's a clip.
I think that's it.
Cool. So we have 5 pages overall, I would say, roughly. I want to start with our article page first. The reason I want to start with the article page is the flow is going to be something like we're going to have Twitter, we're going to have Instagram, we're going to have LinkedIn, we're going to have Discord, Telegram, etc. Here we're going to share a URL, and then this is going to land on a page, and on this page you will have a video like this, and then some other stuff. So we have a logo, we have our top links. What exactly those are, we'll figure it out. I think some of the metadata associated with this page, let's just list down the quick information architecture. Is article page has title, thumbnail, description. It has a YouTube embed or a YouTube URL. It has a Mayank, can you quickly check? Can we embed? So we'll have a podcast embed, but which podcast embed should we use? Like probably Spotify, right? Or should we include multiple podcast embeds?
It would be weird, right? Because if you are including multiple podcast embeds, it will be like, okay, I can see the same thing, but repetitive.
Yeah. So maybe we can do podcast embed, and then we can do one podcast embed, maybe Spotify, and we can do podcast URLs. This will be probably like at least 3, 4, 5 different URLs. We will have things like transcripts. Transcript, I guess, will just be a rich text block which will have links, paragraphs, all of it together. Anything else? Article page will also have a profile associated with this, which is it's going to be the person who's featured on this. This profile will probably have a name, photo, URL, and an external URL. So URL would be to that profile page. External URLs would be like Twitter and wherever else. That's about it, right? Or is there?
So I had one question. This article page is with regards to all episodes or all clips, or like how is it going to be?
So I think we'll have one singular page. It'll be the same page for episodes, clips, actually just episodes and clips. And clips can be of two types. They can be multiple types. Like they can be hiring interview. They can be this thing, but that'll be basically like the category. So here, technically, case studies is probably not a separate thing. It's clips itself. Case studies is a category of clips.
Hmm.
I think roughly this is good for now. We can probably start. So first we have the thumbnail. We can probably do something like this kind of thing, where it's like that. It's like this person did this like that. This is how our thumbnails look right now. Probably have a header like that. Then we would have the title here. So what was the last episode we did on this thing? Nitish.
Nitish.
So we would have, can you tell me what the title was?
For the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was product and type designer at Headout.
Okay. One thing you'll notice, folks, is I never use lorem ipsum anywhere, even if it's early at this point, like a wireframe, because lorem ipsum is fake text. You're basically giving yourself work later. You're saying the future me will figure it out. As much as possible, I try to use real copy, even if it's a little bit like this and then squiggly lines. So we can have the title here. We can probably put some tags like this for category. I'll actually write that. What we can do is we can have something where it's like this, where we put the person's profile picture and the company logo here. And we can say Nitish Yadav, product designer at Headout. And then I'm thinking we have some of the description. Like in this episode, we talked to Nitish Yadav. He has done this thing, this thing, this thing. And then we have maybe the YouTube embed. Like this. Then here we have the podcast embed, which is like that. And then we have the maybe links in this episode. So Nitish's website. We have another link, which is this thing. And then we can probably have transcript. And the transcript, what I'm thinking is the format we can do. This depends on what transcript tool we use, but we can probably make the timestamps and this thing together. Actually, Mayank, what do you think about the YouTube timestamps that we have right now? How should we show those?
So one thing is that it wouldn't be able to work like YouTube does. That on YouTube, what happens is if you click on the timestamp, the video starts from that point.
Yeah.
So it would still be more like a description. You can see the timestamp, but you would still have to manually go scroll the progress to that point.
Yeah. Let me just open one example. So number one, we have this, which is these chapters on YouTube. I think this probably we can include right at the top, because I think we'll have this and then we'll have a detailed one as well. So we can say maybe outline was it? 52,656. And then I'm thinking transcript is the full thing. So it's the full text, and then some tools also let you add a timestamp with each sentence that is spoken. So we can do that. Some additional things that I'm thinking beyond this stuff that we have is we can have I want to add some sort of thing to capture people's emails, because one of the goals, if you guys remember, is we want to start moving people off YouTube to our own platform. And one way we want to do that is through a newsletter where you get early updates and things like that. So I want to have maybe a section saying sign up for basically a newsletter section where we say why you should do it. One question I have here is, why should somebody give their email? Like, what are some points that we can say that, this is why you should sign up?
So, Buddha, I feel that would be covered in our landing page, where we would be pitching to the user why they should listen to Whiteboard in the first place. And then we could introduce a sign up newsletter section where we would, in the end, ask for the CTA, like for all these updates, sign up for the CTA newsletter.
One thing I'm also going to add here is that sharing bar. I don't know what it's called, but basically it's an integration that we can add.
Yeah.
So share button right here for a bunch of social networks. Yeah, what were you saying? So the homepage, people see the value there. But then on the homepage, will our call to action be sign up for newsletter or browse episodes?
So it's like how it's there for the community, right, as well, right? Community or the masterclass. So the main CTA is for getting the users or the viewers who are landing on the website to actually subscribe or pay for the community or apply for the masterclass. But then there are secondary CTAs for browsing through the platform, browsing episodes, looking at all the guests that have been on Whiteboard.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, is there a potential lead magnet that we could do? So for folks who are not familiar with lead magnet, it's basically when somebody comes on your website, they're going to stay for a few minutes, a few seconds sometimes, and then they're going to leave. And a lot of the times they're never going to come back, right? That's just the nature of how things are. So lead magnet is basically something that you can use to capture leads. What it would mean in this case is, can we say that, hey, sign up for the newsletter to get XYZ? So for example, something related to the podcast would be good.
Early access to one of the future episodes.
Yeah. So a few things we can do. We can say things like early access. We can do something where we say, download folks, tell me if you think this is a good idea or interesting idea. One of the challenges with the podcast is it's long. It's like an hour long and you have to actually listen to this. And very likely that think about a podcast you heard 3 months ago. You probably don't remember what was talked about there. What do you think about downloading a one-pager PDF with key insights? Now, of course, this is a lot of work to make for each episode. But what I'm thinking is this newsletter kind of thing, instead of just saying sign up for early access, which is something that everybody says, we can say, hey, download a one-page PDF with key insights. That way, I think that's something we can link on our YouTube as well, which is we can actually mention it during the thing. Hey, we hope you enjoyed that episode. If you want to check out a summary with key insights and links mentioned or something like that? What do you think, Mayank?
I think it's a lot of effort, but it would be a nice lead magnet.
What would the process for something like this look like if we did it? So we would, so we would,
So it would obviously be that once, as soon as the episode is recorded, like the immediate next process would be to create the PDF,
yeah.
that is, create the key insights. And
And
then
these key insights, would this tie into the process that we use to make the highlights as well?
it would be after highlights,
It would be
right?
a lot more than that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because highlights is something that we anyways have to do, because if you're uploading it on YouTube and other platforms,
Yeah.
key insights part comes after that. It's like the layer above it.
Got it. So we would have to do it before we launch. I don't see any comments. I don't think people like the idea. Yeah.
Guys, you have to respond. You have to comment and let us know what you guys think.
Because something like this is a big commitment. Like,
If you guys don't think it's a good idea, we'll just drop it right now.
because for something like this, we can definitely make a good Figma template, which makes things a little bit easier, which you have to just put in a few things and you can download.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can open an example of one of these key insights. I actually got this idea from a channel I follow called Productivity Game. They do book summaries, and at the end of every this thing they say, hey, we hope you liked this video. If you want a one pager with the key insights from this book, there's a link in the description. So then when you click this link, you enter your email address, and you get it. I'm going to quickly stop sharing so people can't see my email. Then I'll jump back. Let me open this PDF.
Guys, in the meantime, drop your comments. What do you think about the lead magnet or the key insights for every episode? I don't see much interaction or response from you guys. If you guys think it's a good idea, we give it a thought. If you guys don't, we're not going ahead with this because it's a lot of effort.
Okay, I just got the. Folks, to help you visualize a little bit what it looks like. Here we go. This, I just watched, let's say, this summary, but this was an animated summary. It was not as long as 1 hour, it was just 8 minutes. But anyway, this was a summary of the whole book. And now there's this one pager PDF, which has the key insights. And it's sort of like a visual storytelling format. I got another idea actually. I'm not sure if I should tell this on stream right now. But dude, I'm really surprised there are no comments. There's 0 comments. How many people do we have watching? 20 something? 30 something?
Yeah, we have like around 25, 30.
Yeah.
Loving it 100%. Bro, then drop the comments. Like,
am I not seeing the comments?
no, it's coming now, bro. After.
Oh, okay.
So, insights are good, but I love to watch the full video.
Makes sense. I think this is more of if you want to quickly get access. What I'm thinking is another potential area this could go in is we could compile in an ebook. Compile all interviews in an ebook. So this way you sort of, let's say we do, how many episodes you think we'll do in a year, Mayank?
Bro, like in 6 months, we've done almost 30.
Cool. So 60 episodes a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Or let's do 52, right?
Oh.
Let's say we do one every week. I think it would be good to have like a ebook where you put this together. Anyways, that's different topic though. But anyways, I think we need a lead magnet. Another thing we could do is, instead of so this lead magnet is a personalized one, which is very specific to this episode, which means it takes time to make. Another thing we could do is a generic magnet, which coincidentally would be the ebook. We say download 35 top insights of interviewing with companies in India, whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
This could technically it could be a paid product also. Yeah.
Bro, I don't think we should do this for free. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah. I want to get some ideas actually. Folks, do you think it would be interesting to do something? I don't know if it's a ebook or a series or something else, which is dedicated to personal brand and interviewing. Or actually, personal brand, of course, included. But I'll say, actually, Mayank, I want to ask you this since you are from engineering, a lot of folks here. Have you heard of this book called Cracking the Coding Interview?
Abhinav, you also need to share your screen. I can't see your iPad.
It is sharing, bro.
Can't see it, bro.
What can you see?
I can just see the both of us.
Okay. I'll just reshare.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of Cracking the Coding Interview? What is the closest you think out there, closest resource out there for cracking the design interview?
None, bro. Just like books like the portfolio book or things like that.
Yeah.
Like the latest I have seen is Dan Petty's book, the portfolio book.
Folks, would you be interested in something like this? Cracking the design interview? It's not really a course or program to learn design, but more about once you've learned, how do you actually apply that? Some of this we're already doing in the masterclass technically. So masterclass folks, you'd get a good idea of this. But I'm thinking something that goes maybe even deeper. Solving product design exercises is a good one. Yeah, I think that's a good one that comes close. Thanks, Rahul. It's basically this book with a highlighter on the cover. And I think maybe this can be like somewhat of a collaborative book where people share their experiences, or we combine these experiences. Okay. Anyways, bro. So we have a newsletter. Maybe this is a personalized lead magnet. Maybe it's a generic lead magnet. And then I think that's about it. We have our footer. Okay, I think what we can do now, Mayank, let's jump into some of the screens that you've designed so far. So folks, you've gotten a decent idea at what we're doing in terms of the wireframing. Let's talk about some of the other pages. Mayank, you want to share your screen now?
Sure, I'll do that. Cool. So I'll share my screen. So I feel we've Yeah, it's stuck at the frame. I can see you moving though, and
Oh, I think we're back.
yeah, I think we're back. Awesome. Thank God.
Crazy. Crazy. Folks, can you see us now?
Yeah, I'm getting responses that it's working now.
Nice. Awesome. So, where were we, dude? I think we were
So
going
we
to.
were going to do the big reveal.
Okay. So, folks, I hope you're ready for this. We're about to do a big reveal. We're going to show you what the website looks like. We're going to show you the first version of the website looks like, at least. Okay. Mayank, take it away, bro. I'm about to switch.
Awesome.
All right.
So, guys, this is our first version of the whiteboard.fm website. This is not my first iteration. I've shown you one of my latest iterations, and this is the website. So I'll just scroll. So this is what the hero section of the website is going to be, or what we are planning it to be. This is what where whiteboard.fm is available. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Now these are the following sections are our feature sections, which are the part of our website where we're showing or kind of telling everyone what whiteboard.fm is and what are the AHA sections or what are the value props, that is the value propositions for whiteboard.fm. That is discover, design, and product folks of all ages and positions. And then I show the senior folks, that is Siddharth and Ivy, and all the beginners who have just started off into design and are doing really well, that is Anshul Dua. Then we focus into our future, we further move on to our feature sections. That is, we have hiring processes, we have case study walkthroughs, we have weekly live stream like the one we are going through right now. And for each section, there is a CTA or a link where you guys can go to that particular section and see all these videos.
One thing, okay, I don't want to interrupt. I'll tell you later. Yeah.
And then we also have the company, we show the companies. The folks from all these companies have interviewed at whiteboard.fm and have showcased their work. And then we go on to meet your host. I've not changed the description. I've used Abhinav description.
Yeah. We'll have to put both of us here, though.
Yeah.
Meet the team, we can say.
Sure. So this is the main landing page. Now I'll move on to the other pages that I worked on.
Yeah, we can jump.
So this is the seasons page, or this is like our articles page, an iteration of it, where this will be the first season and all the guests.
This is not the article page. This is the collection page, right?
Got it. It will be the collection page. I haven't figured out what exactly to call it, which is why I was saying we got the elements of our page, but we haven't collated it as one or like given it a proper entity. So this could be our collections page. And then this would be our profile page. Where there's a like Abhinav showed in the wireframe, there would be the profile image, there would be certain bio related links. This would be the URLs to their own profiles, that is the external links. And then there would be the following episodes and clips. And also links of their case studies. Those which are featured would be in the form of links in terms of what they gave walkthroughs for. And those which they have written externally and which were not showcased on whiteboard.fm. Then another page, this was an iteration which would be for all the case studies. Similarly for all the episodes. And then this is something which I was working on, which would kind of be towards our articles page, where there would be the video. We would focus more on the guests. I would add the profile picture here actually, now that I think about it. Then we would add our descriptions, our times, outlines, transcripts, our embeds. And then here I would also add, so it would be a mixture of our season and profile, some elements of our profile. Like here, ideally, I would show our case studies as well, which have been featured. And yeah, it would be a mix of a couple of pages. Like I've made a lot of separate pages, but I feel we could create one page with elements from different each page which I've already created. Like instead of these 4 or 5 pages, we could just have one, which should comprise of our articles page.
So one thing I want to ask you folks, this is something Mayank and I were talking about. Should we go dark mode or light mode? That's one of the not the key decision, but it's one of the decisions for sure.
For me, it's one of the key decisions because this is dark mode, and then this is what light mode would look like. And I personally love dark mode. Like I agree that in hindsight, I took a lot of effort in designing the dark mode as well. But yeah,
You want to scroll this page?
sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm leaning a little towards
Bro, you know it has to be dark mode.
yeah. Now I feel like dark mode does fit the 10K designer style guide much better.
So I agree. So when we were having this discussion earlier, I agree with the point which you had raised that since there's a lot of information to go through on this platform and read as well, like it's not just something you can read a bit and then just move on. There would be things you would have to actually pay attention to. Light mode would be easier to consume, like it was for booklets. But since this is more of a media platform as well, I feel dark mode it's just a different vibe.
Yeah. I think I'm okay with dark mode, but I think some of the next things, the decisions that I think we can make is number one, sidebar or no sidebar. Right? That's what I'm thinking about. For booklets and UI sources, it made sense to have the sidebar because there were so many categories. But here we only have like 2 or 3 categories, not many categories.
Yeah.
So I think I would probably prefer. Can you switch to one of those screens which has the sidebar? Yeah, I would probably prefer no sidebar. So it's a normal center aligned page. And then besides that, I'm not sure about this, the top header that we have, this purple thing.
Yeah.
Do you think it makes sense to have this on every single page?
We could change the color scheme like that. Or that is something we would work out with the iterations or with once we have a better understanding of what we want exactly. Like because everything getting really dark and black would be too much, which is why I felt like there should be some color.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking a lot of these pages are going to start looking the same. So you have this same purple grid thing.
Yeah, that would be too much. I agree.
Yeah. Because I think like the first version of the website is going to have at least 100, 200 pages. A few hundred, actually more than, no, actually not more than that. It'll be 100 to 200.
Okay.
It'll be at least 100.
I'm not sure how it would be 100.
Maybe at least 100 because we have 100 videos.
So are we going to have a single page for a single clip as well?
Yeah, we will. So the episode page will have links to the clip pages. And then the clip pages themselves will also be pages. Like you can watch the video on that page rather than going to YouTube. Because if we didn't have it, where would you watch it, right? You would have to go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Which beats one of the main goals, which is we want to unify and not, have people jump between sites.
Yeah. Yeah, then you would definitely have more than 100 pages.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about, this thing on each. Like this works great for a landing page. Because I was thinking about something like this similar for the 10K designer's website as well. Right now it only has a couple pages, so it's okay. but how exactly it scale, I don't have a very solid answer yet.
This will be a good experiment for that as well. Like once we see this scale, we'll be able to get a better idea for 10K.
Yeah.
Also, since we are thinking of doing a single page for each video and each clip, like now one way we know how users would land on it is if we use this link for every social media post, right?
Yeah.
How would the user navigate here through the website?
Navigate where? To which page?
So if I want to watch a particular clip or land on that particular clip's page,
Yeah.
how would the user reach
So
that?
on a home page, we'll have a category. We'll have those CTA links for those middle sections, and then I think in the header we'll have to create some sort of categories, which say case studies, hiring processes, browse by company, browse by designers, and then when you click that, then you're going to go to a category page, which is going to have all case studies, all designers, all episodes, all hiring processes, something like that. And then you click it, and then you reach an episode.
Got it.
And then from this, there'll be links to go to the profile, to the clips, to related episodes.
Yeah. Makes sense. So a landing page and homepage would be different. Like on the landing page, we would have a link for homepage, and on that homepage, we would show sections of all these pages, like categories, view all, or like, and then we would have another page which would show all, and then on selecting one, it could come to the final page where we are just showing that video, and then whatever we discussed as the articles page.
Correct.
Yeah, got it.
So I think some explorations that we have to do then is number one, dropping sidebar. Number two, for this header landing page, it's chill, but on the other pages, dropping that. You have to see what it will look like. Either we make it just black, or we make it, like just the grid but no purple. That's another thing that's possible. So that way, if it's all the pages are black, then maybe that seems fine. Another thing we could possibly experiment with is colors from the thumbnail. If you can take let's say,
I was thinking along those lines that for every thumbnail, we could have that kind of gradient on the top.
Yeah. Can you open that article page that you had for like Ivy's episode, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking like here. So let's say, imagine if the sidebar goes away. Instead of the purple thing, either it's black with the grid, or it's some elements of green. Yeah. But I don't. The thing is, we can't do like custom gradients and shit for every thing. So that has to be like super simple. Like for example, like shadows and things, shadows and highlights become green, or some of the text. Any ideas, folks, at this point? So I think about 90% going to drop the sidebar. Header, I want it to be something else. So I noticed the white one. Yeah, I think we won't be able to do this.
It's not for everyone, bro. It would be like
it feels a little Spotify also, I feel. I don't know if it's because it's green or because it's the dark mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you saying before that?
I forgot. Yeah, I was saying green will have to be probably very subtle. And I was just asking if anybody has ideas for what else we can do. One of the reasons we're not doing sidebar, to answer Ronak's question, is that a sidebar makes sense when you have a lot of stuff. Which is, if you look at something like Spotify, like I have like 100 playlists. I can see all 100 of them in the sidebar. Mayank, you want to quickly open UI sources in a new tab, as well as booklets?
Yeah, bro, I'll do that. So I'll open
like UI sources. It's a very not data heavy. more like content heavy website, which is there's like 30 categories, some 40 categories here, 30 categories there. Same with booklets, there's like 12 categories or something. So it makes sense that there's a lot of content. So typically you'll notice sidebars are used also in a lot of dashboard type of sites because you want easy access, and typically there's a bunch of things. For something like this, I don't think it makes sense. Yeah. Open booklets. Yeah. So here sidebar makes sense because there's so many categories you can do, but we'll only have like 3 categories. We'll have interviews, case studies, and maybe hiring processes. I don't know what we'll call it, but yeah, these categories. Anyways, Mayank, you want to wrap up for tonight? Anything else we can talk about?
I think we can wrap it up. Like everyone's seen our visual design and wireframe. We can discuss and
Yeah.
kind of give our lead magnet for our next week. What are we going to be doing next week, most probably?
Yeah. So next week, I think what we can do is we'll definitely have of some more iterations for this, and might be likely that we'll start Webflow as well. Should we start developing this site? Yeah.
Yeah. I think by next week, we should probably have our designs complete. Like fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah.
folks. So thanks for joining in. You got to see a little bit behind the scenes of what it's like making decisions and stuff. It's a lot of just thinking and asking questions. Honestly, at this point, there's a few specific things that I also have feedback about. Just things like the layout of specific pages and the iterations that need to be done. But then that I'll probably drop it as Figma comments. You can check it out. In the next episode, we're going to be showing you some more iterations, which is right now. In the first episode last week, you saw the research and some of the inspiration. Today we did some of the wireframing and we showed you some of the visuals that we had worked on. Some of the feedback from tonight's session, we're going to show you in the next session. And we are also going to start Webflow. I'm not sure, Mayank, whether we're going to show Webflow on our stream. Because it's a lot of just execution work.
Also, a lot of it, I've realized that what I've noticed from previous live streams as well is that when we're just walking through or like showcasing, it's faster. But when we're working while showcasing, it's a lot slower, and the interest also gradually can decrease.
Yeah. Okay, so folks, a quick reminder: if you want to win a 10K Designers T-shirt, neither of us is wearing it today, but you know what it looks like. I'm pretty sure you do. If you want to win that, drop a testimonial for Whiteboard.fm. How is Whiteboard.fm? How have the interviews or the clips or anything else? How has it been useful to you? We're going to be adding a section on the website which is testimonials, where we try to embed tweets, or even if it's LinkedIn, we'll try to figure some stuff out, put it in. The ones that get selected to be on the webpage, we'll send you over a T-shirt. So definitely do that if you want to get a T-shirt. Okay. See you all. Good night. Bye, Mayank.
Bye, bro. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.